Welcome to another episode of the Daily Deuce. I'm John Webster. As you notice, my sidekick this week, Gary Graves, is not here. He has an extended assignment this evening where he's helping out with writing with the New York writers, helping out during this COVID situation. Keep doing the great things you're doing, Gary, and we're going to talk to you again real soon. We have a special guest this week, but let me do one more thing before I get to my special guest. Be remiss if I did not say hello to our producer that keeps this show together, makes everything go great, our main man, John Pitt. John, how you doing, man?
Hey, good evening, fellas. I'm doing great. I feel like I've been watching football every day for 10 days straight because of the COVID and the bowl games and so on. So I'm loving my vacation right now. My staycation.
Hey, man, it's been beautiful, man. Every day is football. Every day. We're going to talk about it, especially with my guest. Our guest, man, dear friend, over 20-some years, has been a dear friend of mine. And we are able to have him on the show today. We have here with us the one, the only, Dr. Richard Myles with the Washington Chiefs and the MFL. And Myles, thank you so much for being here today. Happy holidays to you, and thank you so much for being a part of this show. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
Man, that's great, man. Hey, let's get into it. The MFL. What is the MFL? I read, some things about it. I know you've been around 28 years. You've done a lot of good things. But tell us, what is the MFL? How have you been able to stay around for 28 years when there are other programs or organizations ain't been around for 8 weeks? Tell me what your secret to success is. I think it may have something to do with something in your website called the Laboratory of Change, but I'm going to let you talk and tell us.
Absolutely. Like I said, thanks for having me. Yeah, the MFL is the Laboratory of Change, and why we say it's the Laboratory of Change, because what we want to do is bring former players from the field to the front office. As you know, that other league is not doing that. We made them great, not to beat them up, but we cannot own anything. The MFL is the Laboratory of Change. We want to bring former players. We give them an opportunity to be coaches, GMs, and owners. Also, the Laboratory of Change for players. I tell players all the time, it's not that you're not good enough to play in the NFL. It's not enough room. So that's why we're the Laboratory of Change. And don't forget, we have an opportunity for interns, you're in marketing, PR. If you're in sports management, this is the place to come to tune up and understand what it is to be a part of a professional organization.
Man, that's really interesting, man. And these players that you have, I know I've known you a long time. I know it started with the Washington Chiefs, but it's expanded now, right?
Absolutely. We're expanding to the NFL, have 32 franchises across the country.
And hold on. Whoa. How many teams you got?
It's 32 franchises across the country. And that's why we tell everybody, you got the experience with the MFL doing. Also, as you know, the 2022 season, we will put 16 franchises in Africa. In the continent of Africa, we will have 16 MFL franchises there.
Hold on one sec. John Pitt, I know you normally stay on mute, but I need your help right now, Pitt. Dr. Myles just said he has 32 teams in the MFL going to expand to Africa with another 16 teams. Did you hear that?
That's amazing. That's incredible. I had no idea. Wow.
So, okay, let's dig a little deeper. 32 teams, that's like the other group. What do they call it? The NFL. That's like them with 32 teams. Where are your teams located, Myles?
Absolutely. As you know, we had division. We broke down division. We just a copy of the NFL. Up here is the Mid-Atlantic Division, which have the Washington Chiefs, the Maryland Colts. We have the also up in up in New York, we have the Chargers. Up in Philly, we have the Saints, and don't forget, more importantly, up in outside of Philadelphia, we have the Raiders. Up in New Jersey, that's the Mid-Atlantic Division. Then down in the South, we have the Georgia Warriors, Florida Bears, North Carolina Oilers, South Carolina Outlaws, and we have don't forget, and we want people to have the Patriots down there in Tennessee. Also out there, and we go a little farther out in Texas, because Texas is so big, we have to put several franchises out there. Where the Houston Oilers, also when we go to San Antonio, we got the Steelers. Okay, we got the Cardinals, East Texas. Then down in Louisiana, we got the Packers, and then in Oklahoma, we have. You're going to get excited about this. The Cowboys is in Oklahoma.
They were thinking about you, John Pippen. They put the Cowboys in Oklahoma. They were thinking about you.
Cowboys everywhere. I love it. Love it.
Now, let me ask you this. You got 32 teams across the country. How do you do the scheduling? How's scheduling been? How do you handle that? Does everybody play each other, or is there a playoff system that you have in place? Is there like a championship? Tell us more about it, Myles. What's going on with that? How do you do that?
Exactly. But, like I said, we're just a carbon copy of the NFL.
Okay.
Of course, we keep everything geographically close. Like this, the Mid-Atlantic, you play everybody in your division. Okay. Each division will send a division champ plus a wild card team. Okay. The champion over here will play the champion in Africa. It'd be the first World Bowl ever.
Wow. Now, over in Africa, I was getting ready to get to it. You got 16 teams in Africa. Where are they located in Africa? Where you got your teams located?
Well, as you know, in Africa right now, the continent is big, and you have 50 countries over in Africa. And so we can only deal with certain countries because some of them are blacklisted by the U.S. government. So we're going to Egypt, Nigeria, these are the countries that we can go to. Matter of fact, we have already talked to, and we're getting ready to go and, put these different franchises there. So, we all on track with everything, permitting that this COVID new outbreak that broke out, that everything will be right up to schedule.
Now, let me ask you this question, and I don't want to get too deep into it because this is your personal finances. I don't want to do that on this show, but I just want to ask something on the surface. You have all these teams. How do you go about selecting who's going to be an owner? Because I know you're overseeing it, but there's no way you're taking care of all 48 teams. So how do you go about finding a John Pitt or Gary Graves to take care of a team? How do you go about doing that?
Well, you've been knowing me for years, Mr. Webster, and this team, I am the chairman, CEO, and founder of the Minor Football League. I've been carrying this league for a long time, and right now we're worried about, because we get a lot of people always ask, how much do we pay? NFL owners are billionaires. They have one franchise. I'm responsible for 32. So therefore, we are the only developmental league in the country. We cannot pay players. And while we've been around so long, because I'm honest with guys, I can tell I can't pay you, but we have $1 million worth of insurance on these players. Case of injury. We take care of traveling. We take care of hotels, pregame meal, provide the uniform. I can't do better than that, can I?
Man, that's great. Because my thing is, these kids today, like anybody else, I'm not just going to say these kids today, everybody wants a paycheck. How do you keep them around, Myles? How do you make sure? I know the answer because I've known you for many years, but share with everybody else. How do you keep these kids being a part of the MFL? How do you keep their heads up and make them feel good each and every week, knowing that there's no paycheck coming, but there's other big things coming down the road that they can benefit from? How do you do it?
Absolutely, because everybody want an opportunity to play. I talk to a lot of guys, and a lot of them, they have their degrees in college, they work. And remember now, there's only 3 months and a half that you're playing. Play Saturday night games, so this doesn't mess with you in terms of having your job. You know what I mean? But a lot of guys want that opportunity. They just want an opportunity to play. We provide an opportunity that you don't find outside of college or professional football. We have the pro scouts there. Most of them I play with. We have the college scouts there. And that's a good thing. As you know, now these young people now on their social media, they got more followers than most, thousands of followers. So, and as you know, last year I was on Capitol Hill. I was one of the organizations there on Capitol Hill about these young men getting paid for their likeness. You know what I mean? So, I mean, now that guys can get paid for their likeness, appearances, and selling their jersey, that helps a lot. So, and also we have the guys do 100 hours of community service. We get them involved in the community. And also it's affordable entertainment. You know, we want people to understand that too. Economic development, because you and I know people of color, we're the biggest consumers in America. We have nothing to show for it until now. Now you have an opportunity to buy a franchise, okay? And that's what the other league, why they've been so successful, because I want people of color to understand generational wealth. You pass it down. See, a lot of people of color have been, very smart in terms of what they're doing. But what the first thing we do, we sell it. And we wonder why we broke. But see, those other folks, they pass it down to generations. Okay, that's when we're gonna learn and understand generational wealth. Sure. We teach the young men beyond the field here. It's just not about football. We want them to understand business, not business. You know, really business is a t-shirt. But we want them to understand how to navigate, do this. We know the playing field was never level here in America. So we teach these young men how to get an LLC. You know, we want to teach them how to understand that sole proprietor. You know, we want them to understand corporations as opposed to where you can pay taxes. Now you're a legitimate business. We want these young people that you got these sharp individuals want to get into sports management. How many of us you see represent these players that come out of college? But here, you have an opportunity to work with these guys, sports management. Who knows, some of these guys you might represent in one of those NFL teams. And what makes us different, because the NFL is who they are and who we are. And you notice we met with the NFL. You know, there was a league they tried to buy, and I said no, because people of color have to understand concept. You know, John, people with money don't have a concept. And people with concept don't have money. What happens? The people with the money buys the concept, right? This concept is not for sale. I want to see, and I'm not a racist, this is not the Negro leagues. We want white, whatever color. If you're good enough, we're going to sign you. But I'm just thinking about my people right now. And that doesn't make me a racist or anything. Everybody else look out for their people. I'm just looking out for mine. I want to give them an opportunity for the playing field is as level as possible, just like our dance teams. You know, John, all our dance team girls, they always made the NFL team because we know what they want. We've been there, we did that. So I was like, I remember, you know, the book, The Spook That Sat by the Door. You know, I was like that when I played in the league, man. I was looking and I was thinking, what if you have minor league baseball, right? Mm-hmm. You have D-League basketball, never minor league football. Now you have this stuff called semi-pro, but me and you know there's no such thing as semi-pro. Either you're pro or you're not. That was just an ignorant term people use to justify saying like football, right? So we want people to understand that we're going to educate you as far as beyond the field as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm so excited about the NFL. That's why we've been around a long time. Because we're not going to lie. We're going to be honest with you.
Let me ask you this. When is your season? When does your season start?
We play in the summertime. We play when ain't nothing else going on. We start the first week in June, and we play up to the middle of July, and then it's done.
Somebody wants to find out how to get on a team in the MFL, in the minor football league. Who do they call? What do they need to do?
Go to our website, MFLishere.com.
Give us the website. Give us the website.
MFLishere.com.
Say it again.
MFLishere.com. That's our website. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter, Facebook, all the social media platforms. All you got to do is Google MFL.
And when you go there, if you try and get on a team, you got something about registration and who to contact and all that kind of stuff.
More importantly, it tells you who came through this league. A lot of people know, and you know, Mr. Webster, a lot of people don't know Eric Swan, all pro in the NFL for years. He never went to, he never played in college. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he played in the minor league system. Barry Word. See, The website is very informative. That's what we say. You have to experience us. We're going to tell you who came through here. And I'm a firm believer in documentation be conversation. We're not going to talk about what we're going to do. This is what we already done. So that's a unique thing about the Minor Football League.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. Every time I talk to you, I get more excited. Let me ask you, man, can you stick around with us for a little bit longer so we can talk about some sports, like some NFL football? Can you hang in here with me for a little bit and talk with me?
Absolutely.
Man, that is great, man. That is great. One more time, where do they go to get information to be a part of the MFL or just to know about the MFL? Tell it to them one more time.
Our website is mflishere.com.
All right,
MFL is here.
Is there a phone number that they can
Absolutely. use? 240-551-8031. That's 240-551-8031. And we want them to come experience the MFL. You have to experience all this, Mr. Webster, because it can be overwhelming, you know what I mean? Because everybody called me, you know what the first thing most young men say? Is this for real? I said, well, you're looking at it, right? Yeah, but I can't believe I never heard of this. You know, and as the reporter told me down in North Carolina, I'll take a second of your time. When we went down there, we was doing feasibility study to put the orders down there, and the reporter say, this is nice, but I've never heard of the NFL. I said, well, China got 1 billion people, and I guarantee you not one of them ever heard of you. So what does that mean? Oh, Dr. Myles, she didn't mean, oh, yes, she did. I'm just going to check you at the door. Why are you here? We didn't call no press conference. So apparently you must have heard something, or somebody told you that we was landing at the airport. So it just goes to show you, you know, we just got to learn to understand, man. Stop thinking that if it ain't the other color, that don't mean it ain't right.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Let's move into some NFL football. Let's talk about that real quick, man. Let's see where we can start. We're going to start with that shirt you got on there. That shirt seems like it represents the Washington football team. So Let's start right there. What happened to them on Tuesday night when they played the Eagles? What happened? What's going on?
Can I go back a week before that?
You want to go back to the Cowboys?
The Dallas Cowgirls that came here with Cobra and infected the whole team.
Myles, let me just say this to you. Let me just say it, because you talked to me about this. All right, I told you, be a good sport. A win is a win. Now, if you get ready to go back down this path about cheating, now you know.
No, I'm not. I just said that they came. I ain't said about no cheating or anything. I was just, you know, this day everybody got sick. So it's hard to win when you got people that have not had an opportunity to play. You put them in a situation. If you got all your best guys, and I had to just get some guys because they're football players, don't mean they're good football players. And because now you don't really know the system, you don't understand down distance. You know, a lot of things could have been prevented the other day in different situations that the coaches would have told the guy, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. The only thing can hurt you is a draw screen. But if you don't tell these guys that, then they don't know what to look for. So these are some of the things. But no, they did. I thought they had an opportunity to win the game. I knew it would be a dogfight, but Washington made a lot of bad mistakes in the game. They should have been up 20-0 in the first half. The Eagles, we know they were going to make a serve, but no, but they'll be all right. They understand. I can't beat you if you got your best guys, and I just got some guys that I said, come on, go with me. We're going to play a basketball game or a football game. You know, that just don't work.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're trying to take the high road, Myles. I'm so glad of that. But let's look at the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys seem to be the best team in the NFC East. Right now, they're in first place. They're probably going to wrap it up. I think they've already wrapped up a tie. I think they can wrap it up this week with this game on Sunday night against this WFT team again. So what do you think? What do you think?
Dallas will not win that game. And we know Dallas got to jump on everybody. As you notice, people are getting better down the stretch. And when you're in a division, it's kind of hard. As bad as the Giants and the Eagles is, and the Washington team they're going to play, Dallas might win one of the 3 games in its division. Might one of the 3. And don't forget now, wait a minute now, Dallas got to play the Cardinals now. Okay.
Let me make sure I'm hearing you right. Dallas has 4 games left, right?
Right.
They have the Washington team. They got Philadelphia. They got the Giants, and they got Arizona. Correct?
Right. And I'm saying to you, with a straight face, Dallas might win 1 out of the 4. Now watch. Remember, Dallas not particularly been playing well at all. They just been getting by. Now, had not been for the Washington team digging a hole that they dug for themselves last week, then Dallas don't score in the second half, period. Come on now. You got all your points in the first half over turnover. Take the 2 turnovers, the 2 fumbles back. Okay, how much Dallas got? 13? How many Washington scored? 20? Come on now. I mean, let's just be honest. Dallas is not who they who people think that they are. They're really not. And you're gonna see it.
If wouldas and shouldas were candy and nuts, what a Christmas we would have.
Well, I'm just stating fact. I don't feel that, and that's just my opinion. You know, you can take it with a grain of salt. And I really, they're gonna lose against the Cardinals. If you don't believe that, then something wrong with you. They're not gonna escape. As bad as the Giants is, okay, the Eagles gonna get them once, and Washington will get them once. Now, if you look at this, they're not gonna sweep Washington like Washington swept them last year. Now, remember that Washington get all their players back Sunday. These guys been rested and everything. You get these guys back. And Washington will show that they can beat them in Dallas and beat them handily, when they got all their people. So now you look at the Eagles. The Eagles playing good enough to beat Dallas. Now we know they're going to lose to the Cardinals. I'm just talking, I'm not thinking with my heart. I'm just talking football.
Sure.
That's all we're talking, just facts. And you'll see Dallas, they will win the division because they have that jump. But other than that, and I think Dallas might be they probably go one and done in the playoffs.
So who do you think is the team to beat in the NFC?
Well, to be honest, I have to give it to the old man. I have to give it to Tom Terrific. As you know, they be getting their people back. And one thing it's one thing to win, but you got to know how to win. Now, you had a quarterback that been there and did that. Okay, what thing happens Sunday? Anybody, any given day, you know that. You can be beat. Don't care how good you are. Look at before that, all the teams that lost. I tell you, a team to worry about is watch out for is the Patriots. Because you know how they always say, let's go to the dance. We might get lucky. All you want to do is go to the dance.
Well, you like the Patriots like I do, Myles. I just want them to stay under the radar. I don't want people to start looking at them.
They can't. People already know now. You can't hide that. They got a quarterback that fit their system.
Yes.
He's going to do everything exactly what they tell him to. That's the difference between them and Washington. Washington tries so hard not to lose the game. They forget you out here to win the game. You out here to win the game. And the Patriots will let you hang around like a bad habit. And before you know it, they're on top of you. So when you look at that, they are the sleeper team. Now, you have the Chargers, you have all these other teams, but they're going to start falling. Look at them. Green Bay is good, but if Tom have to go there, Tom will beat them again.
So let me ask you, if you had your way, if you had what you wanted to come true in your prediction, who goes to the Super Bowl, Myles?
Well, I'm just saying anything drastic happen, I think you're looking at Tampa Bay back there again.
To play against who?
Now, that's going to be the question. A little tricky over there. That's going to be the question. Because this might shock a lot of people. He might end up against his old team.
My goodness, I was hoping you'd say that. I was waiting for that one. Now, if he
speaking the truth,
to end up playing against the New England Patriots, let me take it a step further. Who wins the game? The Patriots or the Buccaneers?
The reason I would say the Buccaneers in a close game because they got Tom. He'd have been there and seen it all. And one thing about the guy, they're going to let him play a game where they want to stay close. and staying close to the Bucks is not good because it doesn't matter, because if you get time 3 minutes, you lost the game. So no matter how long they hang in there, you remember the Super Bowl against Atlanta?
Yes.
Atlanta, the people I was down there, they was up what, 28-3?
Yeah.
They over there dancing and everything. Mr. Blank came down the sideline dancing there, but they got us the second half. This game is a 60-minute game, not 30. You know what I mean? If it was a 30-minute game, a lot of teams have some great records right now, right?
Hey, I hope that you're right. I wouldn't mind seeing New England and Tampa Bay. The only thing I want to change, I need my Patriots to win the game, not Tampa Bay. That's the only thing I would want different. But I'm gonna tell you something, Myles. If you got those two teams in the Super Bowl, can you imagine the media coverage? Can you imagine all the hoopla and everything around that game? Can you imagine what that's going to be like?
Well, I mean, it's a movie script, really. And the reason that experience will beat the Patriot experience. Now, you got a great coach over there in Belichick, but, defense is 99% of anticipation. I play defense. We guessing. The problem is we allow no mistakes. Offense allows 7 mistakes. Defense only allows 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like it. And you're speaking of great coaches and legends. That's a nice segue into college football. And we're going to talk about the college football playoffs. And there's definitely a legend sitting over there named Nick Saban, who at one point people really, either they don't know it or they forgot it, he was on the staff of Bill Belichick when he was coaching the Cleveland Browns.
Absolutely.
And look at him now.
But he found his niche. College football is for him. Absolutely. I was just thinking, and I want people to understand, college football is bigger than the NFL, as you know. And I just thought, I can't say, because you got to look out for your family. When what's his name left, y'all coach from Notre Dame and went down there to LSU, but he's going to have to understand, he think pressure was on them up there. Notre Dame's an independent school. They can get in stuff because they're not really in the conference. Down there's a different story. I'll tell you somebody to look out for, and I'm going to tell Herb Edwards that as well. You better look out for SC, man, because your boy coming from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, watch out for SC.
When Lincoln Riley got that job, they immediately put UCLA on the back page of the LA Times. It went back to the old days and USC being the main story in LA. And I agree with you. Lincoln Riley is going to get some things done. He's going to have a quarterback there. I think somebody transferred there, didn't he? Didn't the kid from Oklahoma?
He got the top recruit, a quarterback in California.
Yeah, so
guys transferring. It's a business.
Yeah, and he's going to do a great. You look at his history with quarterbacks. He had Jalen Hurts. I think he had Kyler Murray too.
All the Heisman Trophy winners came out of there.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield was with him for a while too, right? Yes,
he was. He was there.
Yeah, so
he
you
won
look
the
at
Heisman Trophy at Oklahoma,
and you look at him going to SC. He's going to do wonders there. He's going to do absolute wonders. He's going to be great. And I agree with you with Kelly. Coach Kelly, I wish him nothing but the best. But now you're going on a schedule now that's really going to be a grind, because you're in the same side of the SEC with Mississippi State, Mississippi, Auburn, Alabama, and Texas A&M. So you're going to see them. That's 6 games. That's 5 or 6 games right there. You're going to see. That's a meat grinder. That's really rough.
And what I know, you realize, and I want people to understand, this is a business. But they just fired the coach that won the national championship 3 years ago.
Woo!
That tells you the pressure of this game and this business.
It's what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? And it's rough. Kelly's going. I hope he gets it done. I hope he starts off fast. But having a schedule, Notre Dame has a national schedule. You know how I feel about Notre Dame. They if they're relevant, football is relevant. But The schedule Notre Dame plays and the schedule that LSU plays, let's not fool ourselves. It's two completely different schedules.
But I'm glad that brother got the job there as the coach of Notre Dame. I mean, you know, there's kudos to him, and I'm glad they made that move. But he's going to understand the difference. But like I say, it's business. You know, nothing personal, just business.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's take a quick look here at these two college football playoff games. You got Alabama and Cincinnati. Cincinnati's Cinderella trying to hold on to this story and make sure the glass slipper fits until the end. Alabama is Nick Saban. You know, he it's a machine. It's a program. They're in it each and every year. And on the other side, you got my man Coach Kaki, Jim Harbaugh with Michigan, and you got Georgia. Give me your take on both of those games.
You know what they say when you go to Baltimore, be careful. You know, Michigan got to be very careful with Georgia. It's no ifs, buts, and about it. They had that bad game against Alabama, but that was just the one bad game they had. Now they reprieve because they're in the national championship. Now you're looking at Alabama is Alabama. You know, just simple as that. They learned a lesson a long time ago when a good friend of mine that tried to recruit me at USC, John McKay, you know, went out there and showed them what real football was. You know, when my buddy Sam Cunningham, you know, God rest his soul in peace, went out there and the guy said, "Is that a lineman running the ball? We got to get some of them guys." They forgot to say African American. They said, "We got to get some of them guys," because they know Cincinnati is. Alabama might just be a little bit too much for them.
Okay. All right. So what happens on the other side? Michigan and Georgia.
I think Georgia is going to beat Michigan. I really feel that. They're a lot better than what Michigan faced. The only thing Michigan faced was Ohio State, and they was lucky. And sometimes it's better to be good than lucky, you know, lucky than good, right? And they got away with that. But I don't think they'll be able to handle Georgia.
All right, so we get to see
Georgia and Alabama. And you know what happens with that game, right?
What's going to happen?
When Georgia crossed the field from Alabama, they're going to say, "You remember us?" Watch it. Remember that. Georgia going to say, "Do y'all remember us?" They're going to tell Alabama, because you know Alabama made them look bad. That was the time they had the worst game they could possibly have all year long. But they got a reprieve because they're going to see them again.
And you're saying when they see him again, you're saying Georgia comes out the national champion.
Georgia will beat them.
Okay. So let me make sure we got, before we wrap up, we got Georgia as a national champion beating Alabama, and we got Tampa Bay beating the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
And then we also have the Washington football team beating up this week on Dallas.
And you know what Dallas' excuse is going to be? We don't really need this game, so certain players, we don't want to risk getting injured. That's going to be coming next. Watch. Because it's true.
Man, I tell you, man, I don't know where the time goes. The time has been flying. This has been a great show. Myles, thank you so much for being a part of this show today. We greatly appreciate it. I mean, this has been just a fun ride, and is in the immortal words of Don Cornelius and Soul Train, this has been a stone gas. So I just really thank you. I appreciate it. Want to do two things real quick before we get to the end. One, I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine and an alum at Bowie State, and I consider him the top alum at Bowie State, Gene Gloucester, who had a birthday this week. Happy birthday, Gene. And then also one of our special guest hosts and the originator of the Daily Deuce, Dante Webster, has a birthday Sunday. Happy birthday, Dante. Love you. So thank you again. Please, everybody, watch the Daily Deuce. Check it out on YouTube. Check it out on Facebook. Tell your friends, tell everybody. And until next week, have a great week. Be safe, be careful, and above all else, have a good time. And oh, don't let me forget, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. And John Pitt, thank you for everything as always. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.